after the Civil War, there was a new political party created called the Know Nothing Party. Remember this, Know Nothing Party? Well, the Know Nothing Party was actually dedicated to keeping this country pure. Because we knew at the end of the Civil War, the West had been opened up. We had millions of acres of land open for homesteading. We knew people were going to come from all over the world, and they were okay with that. They just wanted to make sure that they were, you know, like us, Northern European and Protestant. And so, if you wanted to come to the United States in those days, everybody thought it was just a grand idea. We needed more people. You just come on in, you apply, and you can come. Unless, of course, you were Jewish, Catholic. Then you were put on a quota system. Maybe 1 out of 10 could get in the country. And, of course, the Know Nothing Party morphed into the KKK by the end of the century. And they still had this quota system. And so it was in 1912 that a young woman in Donegal, Ireland, got a letter from the United States government telling her she had won the lottery. She was going to be allowed to come to America. And there were, at that time, 19 people living in that 20 by 20 stone house in Donegal. And it was a grand celebration because, well, it was one less mouth to feed. Also, their family was going to get a chance at the American dream. She said all of her goodbyes for weeks on end because she knew that she'd never see the Emerald Isle or any of her family again. But just 6 days before she was to get on that boat, the boat that sailed 3 weeks after the Titanic, a young man proposed marriage, and she stayed in Donegal. But her sister, her younger sister, Hannah Friel, illegally took her passport and that paperwork, and she got on that boat. And when she arrived at Ellis Island, she nervously stood in line, wondering what could happen. They looked at the passport, the picture, the freckles, the red hair, another Mick, and you go. And now, the promised land, she's in New York City, and she began looking for work immediately, 20 years old, by herself. But the signs would say, help wanted, Jews and Irish need not apply. So she lived on the street, she ate from dumpsters, weeks on end. Once in a while, another Irish family would take her in for a day, let her take a bath, and give her a good meal, but they couldn't afford another mouth either. And one day, there was a man handing leaflets out, and the leaflet said that there is a new railroad that's been built from Minneapolis to Seattle, and there's this place, Montana, where you can get free land. And this railroad would give you a free ride on a boxcar from New York all the way to this place called Montana, where they would have a landman help you find 320 acres, and it was your land if you could plow it for 5 years and build a house. And that young illegal immigrant got on that train. And she walked 17 miles north of Chester, Montana, which was just an outpost. And by herself, she homesteaded 320 acres. She later married another Irish immigrant by the name of Mike McKernan. They put their homesteads together. They raised a family of 5. Their oldest son, a strapping lad, 6'2", 220, joined the Navy in 1940, like all Irish lads would do. And he was in Pearl Harbor. He was at Schofield Barracks on December 7th. Of 1941, this son of an illegal immigrant. He was at Mass that morning when the Zeros attacked. He'd been trained as a gunner and a boxer. And he ran out from Mass, he saw what was going on, he grabbed a .50 caliber, he started firing back. They said, McKernan, we don't have orders. He said, to hell with the orders, we're at war. Well, I hear Mitt Romney and his gang say that if you came here illegally, if you've been here for 20 years, if you've been here for 100 years, and you came illegally, you need to self-deport yourself with your family and go to wherever you came from and wait and get the paperwork to come here legally. Well, on that basis, Mitt Romney would send the governor of Montana back to Donegal because that was Hannah, Montana, my grandmother, Hannah Friel. What's your story?